So, good morning. I am Lakshmi Pataya MG, Assistant Professor of Commerce, Government First Grade College, Madhugiri, Tumkur District, Karnataka State. My title is Financial Accounting 2. I am discussing about the session number 53, that is the new chapter, last chapter, Departmental Accounting. Departmental accounting. Under this session, I am covering the meaning and need of departmental accounting. So, first we know the introduction about the departmental accounting. A departmental undertaking refers to a large number of organizations or concern which has a number of departments, each of which is specialized in a particular line of activity or a particular product or service. A departmental undertaking refers to a large organization or a concern which has a number of departments, each of which is specialized in a particular line of activity or a particular product or service. A departmental undertaking can effectively function when it can ascertain the results and performance trend of not only the entire concern but also each individual department. This necessitates departmental undertaking to maintain its books of accounts accordingly, that is, for enabling it to ascertain the individual results of each department. The accounts so maintained, which can provide details of each individual departments, are called departmental accounts. A concern having a number of departments, each specializing in a particular line of activity, is called a departmental undertakings. So, what is the meaning of departmental accounts? The accounts which disclose not only the profits of the whole business but also the profits of each of the various departments are called departmental accounts. So, what are the needs or objectives of departmental accounts? The basic objectives of maintaining separate accounts for each department are to get an analytical idea about the affairs of each department is the one of the first objective, and to know the trading results of each of the various departments individually, and to ascertain the stock turnover ratio of each department, to compare the trading results of one department with those of other departments, to reward the departmental managers on the basis of trading results shown by their respective departments, to evaluate the performance of each department on the basis of its trading results to help the management to formulate the right business policies for the various departments on the basis of their relative efficiency, and to facilitate managerial control over the working of each department, and it helps to calculate commission of the managers on department wise. It provide a basis for remunerating the employees of various departments. It helps the management in formulating proper policies to extend the business, and so that to enable the concern to ascertain the results and performance trend of each department, to enable the management to take decisions regarding the extent of investment or disinvestment to be made in each department, the continuance or discontinuance of loss making or low profit making department, to provide a basis for remunerating the employees of various departments. It enables the management to know the specific results of each department, thereby helping it in various aspects of decision making, and it can enable a healthy competition among the departments, which in turn could lead to overall development of the organization. It provides a basis for deciding on the incentives and remuneration to the employees working in different departments, and also outsiders. It helps to outsiders, that is shareholder, creditors, lenders, government authorities, etc., will be able to get a better view of the concern performance. Next, what are the methods of maintaining departmental accounts? So, maintenance of accounts for each department individually can be done in two different ways. One is singular method, another one is columnar method. When separate books of accounts, are maintained for each department, the system is called a singular method. When the common books of accounts are maintained for all the departments, showing details of each department in columnar form, the system is called a columnar method. So, under this chapter focuses on preparation of final accounts of a departmental undertakings and not the maintenance of books of account. The steps and procedures involved in preparing final accounts of a departmental undertaking has been given. So the following are the steps involved in preparation of final accounts of a different departmental undertaking. One is the preparation of departmental trading account in columnar form, preparation of departmental profit and loss account also in columnar form, preparation of general profit and loss account, and preparation of profit and loss appropriation account, if the departmental undertaking is a corporate entity, and preparation of consolidated balance sheet. Next, when singular method, when separate books of accounts are maintained for each department, is called a singular method. And columnar, when the common books of accounts are maintained for all the departments, showing the details of each department in columnar form. The system is called columnar method. It is also called tabular method. Tabular method. Under step preparation of departmental trading account. The following details are required to prepare preparation of a departmental trading account: opening stock and purchases and purchase returns of each department, sales and sales returns of each department, direct expenses like wages, carriage, inwards, power, fuel, water, maintenance, commission, brokerage, etc. on purchases, and closing stock of each department is to be required. And preparation of departmental profit and loss account. Grasp the following details are required for preparation of departmental profit and loss account: gross profit or gross loss, income of each department and indirect expenses of each department, and preparation of general profit and loss account. A general profit and loss account is prepared to ascertain the final results of the concern for the accounting year. For preparation of general P&L account, the following details are to be required: net profit or net loss, common incomes and common expenses which are not apportionable or allocable, and net profit or loss can be obtained from each department account. And preparation of profit and loss appropriation account. So the following details are required to prepare profit and loss appropriation account, that is accumulated loss or profit, total profit or loss of the relevant accounting year, and appropriation of profit. And lastly, preparation of consolidated balance sheet. The following details are required to prepare consolidated balance sheet: assets of the undertaking, liabilities of the undertaking, and capitals. So finally, revision: a departmental business is one which has a number of departments or division under one roof. Therefore, the accounts that are maintained which can provide details of each individual department are called departmental accounts. The need to prepare departmental account is to assess the performance of each department, to know the trading results of each department, to formulate the policies and decision making, and so on. These are the references given by the various authors. So this type of preparation we are maintaining, and some special adjustments also kept in mind while preparing the departmental final accounts. One is departmental manager's commission. Commission to the manager of a particular department must be debited to the concerned profit and loss account and shown as a outstanding expenditure on the liability side of the balance sheet. So calculation of commission depends on whether the commission is paid on profits before charging such commission or profits after charging such commission is very important. So when the commission is to be calculated on profits before charging such commission, the formula for calculating the commission, that is total credit in the profit and loss account of the concerned department minus total debit in the profit and loss account of the concerned department, divided by 100 into rate of commission. When the commission is to be calculated on profits after charging such commission, the formula for calculating the commission: total credit in the profit and loss account of the concerned department minus total debit in the profit and loss account of the concerned department, divided by 100 plus rate of commission plus 100 plus rate of commission, only 100. So, and general manager's commission is also important. Commission to the general manager of the undertaking must be debited to general P&L account and shown as an outstanding expenditure on the liability side of the balance sheet. And calculation of commission depends upon whether the commission is paid on profits before charging such commission or profits after charging such commission. When the commission is to be calculated on the profits before charging such commission, the formula for calculating the commission is equal to total credit in the general P&L account minus total debit in the general P&L account divided by 100. Next, when the commission is to be calculated on profits after charging such commission, the formula for calculating the commission is equal to total credit in the general P&L account minus total debit in the general P&L account and divided by 100 in plus rate of commission. So